Welcome back, everyone. NicknLex here. Thank you so much for joining me today to this new episode. Today we got a marathon by Lee. Thank you so much for sending me the email with the request. I appreciate it. And here's some really cool bands that Lee is gonna try and get me into. You know, there's some stuff that I do know, of course, like The Who, Deep Purple, and Living Colour, but Def Leppard, I've never really listened to Def Leppard, and Fastway, I don't know them either. Now, I got Lee into Iron Maiden, which I'm really proud of. He was just not into them, you know, he just didn't, he hadn't taken the time, and now he is what I would consider pretty much a fan, not like a super fan, I think, but at least he does appreciate them and he likes what he hears, you know. So I hope this happens for me with Def Leppard. Now, maybe one song is not enough, but at least, you know, I've heard some Def Leppard in my life, of course, but I've never really thought much about them. I know that Def Leppard and Iron Maiden were in the same kind of like timeline with the new wave of British heavy metal when they came out, but I think Iron Maiden stayed on a different path, which is more straight heavy metal, and Def Leppard went more into the commercial kind of like ways of music. But we'll find out in a second, because that's the first song on the list. Again, thank you so much for being here, everyone. I hope you enjoy. If you do, you know what to do. You can like, you can subscribe, you can comment, all that good stuff. And there's only a small little list here that Lee provided me with. It says pretty much he sent me the link with all the songs. Thank you so much. But it says good old 80s rock and roll marathon, enjoy. That's pretty much it. So here are the songs before we start. I'm sure you clicked maybe on the video because of one song in particular. There will be time. I think YouTube now creates like time sections where you can see the particular reaction to the song that I'm listening to. We're going to start off with Def Leppard, Let It Go, from High and Dry. Then we're going to do Fastway. I've never heard of this band. We Become One, from the album Fastway, self-titled. The Who, you guys know that I love The Who. Another Tricky Day from Phase Dances. Then Living Colour. We did 2 reactions for Stephen Caruso. Wonderful band. I love them. Memories Can't Wait from Vivid. And the last one is going to be Deep Purple. You guys know that I love Deep Purple. Album Perfect Strangers. The song is called Hungry Days. I've not heard that one before. So all in all, just great music. I hope you enjoy. And yeah, let us know what you think of these tracks. Where were you when these came out? And I'll be adding, of course, the years now when I click on them. So without further ado, let's get it started. And yeah, like I said, if you enjoy the marathon, if you enjoy the video, please leave a comment with your, you know, experiences and what you think. So Let It Go is on the High and Dry album, and this came out in 1981. So 1981, that was pretty much, yeah, that was when the second album, I think it was the second album, Killers, came out by Iron Maiden. So I'm going to compare the two because they really started at the same time, and they were, you know, it was like the new invasion of British heavy metal, the new wave of British heavy metal. So High and Dry, let's check it out. And just got a message from Alexia. I'll read that while I listen. Also, this song is very, very popular on the album. It has a lot of reproductions. Let's check it out. Here we go. Thank you so much, Lee, and let's go. That is the title of the song. I love it. Let It Go. Let's go. All right, here we go. Okay. right. So, okay. This is so it's very different from the metal that I grew up with, which is Metallica, Iron Maiden, Megadeth, King Diamond, Manowar, all this stuff, you know, Pantera. But there was a band which came from the early 70s, and for some reason I didn't get into Rainbow or Deep Purple. I was hugely into Led Zeppelin. Before I got into any sort of heavy metal, I already had heard everything by Led Zeppelin that was ever recorded. So I had a good, you know, guide. But this reminds me more, and I like this. Now I like it. Now I can really appreciate it. But if you would have played me this maybe 5-6 years ago, I would have been like, no. It just sounds different. It's more in the camp of like AC/DC, Van Halen. It's like rock and roll. It's not heavy metal. It's like it is just not. It doesn't have that that gallopy sound that maybe, you know, a 70s band that I love to death is Thin Lizzy, because Thin Lizzy has that metal attack that I love, that gallopy, those riffs, and these riffs are really cool. And I don't get me wrong, I love AC/DC, I love Van Halen, but I was just not that appreciative before, maybe let's say like 6-7 years ago. I remember when we lived in Florida, I got invited to a Def Leppard concert, and I said no. Imagine how stupid, because it could have been, maybe I could have walked out of there being a fan. But it's just like I was so set in my ways, and I know people who are like this, you know, people that I frequent with every day. People are just set in their ways, and you can't really change them. And I used to be just like that. But this was really good. It reminded me a lot of Judas Priest. I'm a huge Judas Priest fan, and their first albums, which are 70s albums, 75, 76, 77, 78, and then they became a little bit heavier, but still very kind of like commercial. But they sounded in the 70s like this, like you got another thing coming. It is like that, you know, like Judas Priest, earlier Judas Priest, early AC/DC, you know, it has that rock and roll, hard rock feel to it, you know. Also, I would say West Coast, you know, West Coast, like I think LA scene, you know, it was just a different type of music. You got the bands like White, what was it called? White Snake, The Great White, White Lion, Riot. You got Poison, you got Motley Crue, you got Van Halen, you got all this more like Twisted Sister. You know, these were bands that I listened to back in the day, and I was like, this is not heavy metal. This is like different. That was another scene instead of the other scene, which was more like Metallica, Megadeth, and stuff like that. Anthrax, which was like thrash. You know, there was the hard rock versus the thrash, and then there was Iron Maiden and Judas Priest and Running Wild and so many other bands of that. Halloween, you know, from Germany. Scorpions. Scorpions started out like very, very heavy, and then they became more this ballady driven band like Def Leppard. This was very good, don't get me wrong. I'm just comparing it to what I know, and there's so many bands out there. But this was good. It was very catchy. It had that typical, you know, chorus that's rememberable, really cool solo. You know, it has the really cool memorable licks. The riffs, it has it all. It has everything to be successful, but it is a different style of music. It is just like more commercially driven than, let's say, an Iron Maiden track, maybe something a little bit more underground, like let's say Killers or Invaders, Number of the Beast or Peace of Mind, on the Peace of Mind album, The Trooper, or, maybe not Flight of Icarus. Those are very commercial tracks. Maybe something that Lee loves, To Tame a Land, the Dune inspired track that has super cool Arabic sounding scales, and it's more out there, and it is more metal. It has a little bit of a darker vibe, but it's not, maybe it's a bit heavier on the distortion and the attack, the rhythm and stuff. But this was good. Now that I'm listening to it, I find it very good. I would listen to this kind of music. But I do understand my past self, why I kind of like steered away from it. It was maybe a little bit too just hard rock, Now that I finally saw AC/DC, I love them. I appreciate them. I understand their music, but I was very ignorant when I was younger, and I was like, oh, this is not heavy enough, or Kiss, it's not heavy enough. So there you go. So this was from their second album, High and Dry. Very cool. I really liked it. I enjoyed it. I would like to take a deeper dive into maybe something, maybe a little bit heavier if it exists, but I mean, this is enough for 1981. This was pretty heavy, but all in all, really cool track. Thank you so much. Thank you for introducing this music to me, Lee. So here, this Fastway, I've never heard of this band. This is their debut album, We Become One. I have no idea what I'm getting into, but I know Lee, and we've gone to some amazing concerts. We saw King Diamond together. We might see Dream Theater together. They're going to go see Porcupine Tree. He's a prog lover and a metal lover. He loves Anthrax. I tried to get him into Megadeth. He loves the music, but the voice. I know I've had a problem with Dave Mustaine's voice, but you get used to it. It's part of the experience, So, but I'm sure there's gonna be some. I don't know what this is gonna be about. I have an idea about the Who. The Who is awesome. They always deliver. Living Colour is a great band, which I really, really appreciate. And Deep Purple, I mean, you can't go wrong with Deep Purple. But okay, here we go with Fastway. Let's see what that is all about. Here we go. 1983. Very cool. I loved it. So this, it's a hard rock band, and I just read about them, and they're half Motorhead, half UFO. This is something that I would have considered heavy metal if I first listened to it back in the day, because I think like Judas Priest, like if you heard their first album, their first three albums, they're very, very like it's almost like 70s rock, it's like 70s, it's hard rock, but it's not really, it's not heavy metal. They became heavy metal like more in the late 70s, early 80s, and this is what they sounded like. And there's a couple of changes there in speed, the licks, it's not just one lick. That ending there, that sounded literally like the beginning of Hit the Lights from Kill 'Em All, Metallica. That, I love the voice here. It's like, what did it remind me of a little bit? Maybe Metal Church, like stuff like that. Which is a fantastic band. They do a really cool cover of Deep Purple, Highway Star. This was great, man. This was just straight up great hard rock music, And again, I always advocate for heavy metal, and like, come on, guys, like listen to more heavy metal. It's not as bad as it sounds. A lot of people think it's literally a different genre. This could be for the uninitiated person who has no idea what rock music is. They don't know what Led Zeppelin is. They don't know about the Stones. They don't know about the Beatles. People like that exist, especially in countries like Mexico, countries that are a little bit more underdeveloped or just behind, where you don't get these records. And they don't know the difference. They hear this and they would call this heavy metal or rock, but they can also listen to maybe like Pantera and call it just rock music. They don't know the difference in all the sub genres and stuff like this. So this is just plainly good music. I would totally go see them live, as I would with Def Leppard. This was great, man. Really nice. It was heavier than Def Leppard. You have to give it to them that the song had a heavier feel, I think a great example of a band that has it all in that 70s, 80s kind of like timeline is Thin Lizzy. Thin Lizzy is just a band that they're so versatile that you can call them like, yeah, hard rock or rock, but also heavy metal. They just are so good. That dual attack on the guitar that became so famous with Iron Maiden, but also others did it before. We have Wishbone Ash. They're so good. Wishbone Ash inspired everyone, I'm sure. Like the best bands right now out there were inspired by Wishbone Ash. Metallica, Iron Maiden were inspired by Wishbone Ash. Judas Priest. So yeah. So Fastway, great discovery. Thank you so much. Now we're getting into territory that I'm more familiar with, not everything, but The Who. I dislike The Who. I honestly disliked them. I didn't understand them. I didn't understand their style, but now I get it, and it's so good. They're so original. They're like Led Zeppelin. They're like, for me, not in the musical style, but in the, in just like that they, created a genre. There were these, these inventors of a certain style, and I think The Who is a band that were very important, and just like the Beatles were important in the 50s and 60s, the way they shaped music. Did they ever release anything? I think they released some early late 50s stuff, but the way they shaped the 60s, the Beatles are the quintessential rock band. They kind of like paved the way what was gonna come, what was gonna And then I think the Who and bands like Led Zeppelin and the Who, there were just like these pioneers in music, you know, or the Stones, the Doors, you know. Although the Doors, I really haven't really listened to a band that kind of matches the intensity or the style or the just the original way the Doors played. I don't think I've ever heard another band that plays like the Doors. That's why I love them. They have that jazzy, really cool way of playing, and then they get super heavy and wild. I don't know, but the Who were just like a pioneer band that paved the way what was to come later, just as Led Zeppelin did. And we were lucky. We just watched Lee the other day, Becoming Led Zeppelin. Very interesting movie. I highly recommend it. It's in theaters. I watched it with Alexia and her dad, and we enjoyed it. It's super cool. There's some really amazing footage that has never been seen the light of day, and fully remastered, and amazing interviews given by the three remaining members, and also some John Bonham recordings that are just never been heard before. And it's really cool because they show them to the band and they reacting to that old stuff, and they're just like, wow, you know, we had something really special. So the Who is Another Tricky Day. Here we go. And like I said, I love the Who. I'm a really big fan, and there's some really interesting stuff. So let's check this out. So good.
The break kind will start a fire, you all. It's all here on the vinyl. No prizes, just you having fun. There's no prizes, getting burned by the sun. You got no prizes, this is true. This is no social crisis, just another tricky day for you.
So good. Just, yeah. This is from the 1981 album called Face Dances. So this was before, almost before their split. But what a great way to incorporate keyboards here. I mean, everything about this band is just excellence. You know, Roger Daltrey, I love his voice. He's just super original, and it's just, I don't know. I never can get enough of his style of singing. Pete Townsend, I mean, super original way of playing the rhythm guitar. I love that he sings almost all the harmonies. Keith Moon, I mean, what is there to say about Keith Moon? One of the craziest drummers, best drummers in rock history. I didn't know they started so early in the 60s, throughout the 70s and the 80s. So they were just legendary. And then John on the bass. This whole song, so well put together, you know, even for the 80s. It doesn't sound anything like the 80s. It doesn't sound there's no synth in there. There's no typical, you know, 80s bass. It was still rock and roll to the core. It still sounds like the band, you know, that started in the 60s. And I didn't know, I just looked here, 65, My Generation. And then, of course, we got Tommy, you know, the Who Sells Out, a quick one, and then Who's Next, which is one of their most epic albums, I guess, that I've heard so far. Quadrophenia, we did the whole thing. It's on YouTube if you want to check it out. A very long album. And then Who Are You? The Kids Are All Right, and then this, and then one more. It's Hard, and then it looks like they disbanded, but then they came together in the 90s for a while, and then I think in the 2000s. But the Who is just, they have a sound going on that's just, it's like I said, it's one of those, you know, the first time you heard like by Led Zeppelin, Whole Lot of Love, that kind of like, what is this? You know, that age-defying like moment in time in music history. That is the Who, you know. But with most of their stuff, like there's some songs that I can't stop listening to on the Who's Next, Baba O'Reilly, holy, Going Mobile. I mean, Won't Get Bold Again. I mean, it's like, but not just those three. Everything is good on these albums. Like, it's just like, it's an age-defying band. It's one of those bands that are always going to be, it's like when you listen to Eruption the first time, it's like, whoa, what was that? When you listen to Far Beyond the Sun for the first time by Yngwie Malmsteen, highly recommended. If you have not listened to that, and if you say, oh, it's all speed, but just listen to it once. The man was an artist, talking about Yngwie J. Malmsteen. And a lot of people don't like fast plays, but this was not just fast. This was a whole different technique, playing arpeggios that are usually played on a violin, transcribed onto a guitar, playing these, like, it's incredible. Just if you have to listen to one song in your life by Yngwie J. Malmsteen, pick out Far Beyond the Sun. At 6 minutes of your life, you're going to be happy that you heard. It's just amazing. Nobody has done anything like it. Even one of my favorite players, there's nothing quite like it. This song is just, and it's obviously a tribute to Johann Sebastian Bach, to Vivaldi, Beethoven, Mozart, all in that one piece, and it's just a masterpiece. It's an instrumental. Check it out. Far Beyond the Sun. I don't know why I'm recommending Yngwie Malmsteen, but it's really that good, you know. I wanted to do a reaction and show it to Alexia now that she understands music so much more, and I want her to listen to it like this, you know. But yeah, The Who, what is there to say? It's excellence, you know. No doubt about it. They will remain forever one of the greatest bands to ever exist. Okay, Living Color. We have 2 videos on the channel and they have almost no views. Go check them out. They're with videos. So it's even cooler because we're reacting to the music and the video at the same time. There's 2 videos. Check them out, Living Color. This is Memories Can't Wait from Vivid. Let's see what year. 1988. All right, cool. Yeah, I love this band. Really cool messages, really cool style that, you know, also branched off other really cool, you know, bands like Rage Against the Machine, I'm sure. Stuff like, you know, where rap and rock would meet, like Run DMC. I don't know if you've ever heard Tougher Than Leather. That's an amazing album where it's basically they started off with Walk This Way, a cover by Aerosmith, sung by Aerosmith, but with Run DMC in the mix. And then Anthrax did some really cool stuff with Public Enemy. And I don't know, I love the, you know, combination of rap and rock and metal, and it's really a good idea. And Rage Against the Machine, I think, really excelled at that. So check him out if you don't know him, Rage Against the Machine. But here's A Living Color.
memories can't wait. These memories. These memories can't wait.
Wow, so good. So I was completely off, because this is obviously not rap. This reminded me way more of this almost sounded like pre-grunge, you know, like something like Alice in Chains would come up with, but you know, but they're like the precursors of the grunge movement. This was so good. I love the solo, man. Vernon Reid is such a good guitar player. It was like Hendrix on steroids, like just like shredding, you know, that the blues and the pentatonic scale with the crybaby, and oh man, so good. And but this whole thing, the heaviness of it all, it reminded me, I think, more of like Faith No More. There's some Faith No More that I know, and yeah, almost like, you know, something maybe like Pearl Jam would write, or Stone Temple Pilots in the future. I would say I'm gonna go with Alice in Chains. It sounded more like Alice in Chains, something they would come up with, and Faith No More. Very, very original, very cool rock band. You know, although I like talking about the rap rock, you know, fusion that happened in the 80s. I'm sorry, but I have to disappoint you. I don't like rap or new metal, which is I guess like Korn, and I've never tried. I've honestly never tried. I've listened to like 1 or 2 or 3 songs. I don't like Korn at all. I don't like Limp Bizkit. I don't like all that baloney. I can't get into it. Because that is literally rap with metal. No, I don't like that at all. I like the real rap music fusioned with some really cool metal bands like Anthrax and Aerosmith, which I know is 70s rock. I know, I always thought they were a 90s band because of the movie Armageddon. That's the first time I heard them, and I thought they were a 90s band. And then when we did the reaction to the first album of theirs, Toys in the Attic, oh my god, I was blown away. I had no idea. This was, I think, one of the best songs I've heard of Living Colour. Super heavy, nice, and just power, you know, power. If I didn't know that it was Living Colour, I would think it's some grunge band. But this is from 1988. This was pre-grunge. And I think they laid some really cool foundation work there for, you know, just, yeah, we can play rock, but, you know, different, you know, more raw. That's something that I liked about Guns N' Roses when I first heard them, that it was, the formula was off. It was just like raw and straight to your face. And the first, I think, 2 albums, the Use Your Illusion by Guns N' Roses, and I think the second one that I heard, no, not Use Your Illusion. Yes, Use Your Illusions, those 2 albums were amazing, but I am talking about Appetite for Destruction. Holy moly, that album is just like full of bangers. Paradise City, Welcome to the Jungle. Just fantastic album. Sweet Child of Mine, just a legendary album. I mean, even though I'm not such a big Guns N' Roses fan, and even this like 2 years ago when we went to see Guns N' Roses, with Iron Maiden on the same night. I was not even excited for which is bizarre because way before I got into Iron Maiden, I loved Guns N' Roses to death. I love them. I think I started to dislike them because of Axl Rose and his bullshit, you know. I really that really can kill a band for you if the frontman is constantly doing stuff that's just not cool. Then you don't like the band. You can really dislike a band, you know. So that was a great track. Living Color, what a great track. Thank you, Lee. You're not letting me down here at all. And now we're gonna close it off with Deep Purple, the masters of neoclassical influence in rock and roll. For me, Deep Purple has always been a heavy metal band. They're the godfathers of heavy metal. Black Sabbath, Deep Purple, Led Zeppelin, even though I know they don't like to be called heavy metal, they denounce that term. But it's Deep Purple and Black Sabbath. I would say Led Zeppelin's is part of the creation, and I would include Uriah Heep in there. And also, if you really think about it, the Scorpions did a lot. And I mean, there's just so many bands that, you know, worked on the genre. But I mean, the three powerful ones, or the four most powerful ones, would be Heep, Zeppelin, Purple, and Sabbath. So here we go with Deep Purple, Hungry Days. Let's go. That's hard rock. very sudden ending. Deep Purple are just like on a different level. This lick, you know, this Middle Eastern look, Arabic kind of like lick there. That's pretty much what every heavy metal band kind of like started to use, you know, to sound a little bit more eerie, to sound a little bit darker. And Deep Purple was a huge influence on pretty much everyone in rock or metal. You know, I would say if you listen to Iron Maiden, you're gonna hear some Deep Purple. You're gonna hear some Rainbow. Everything. If you listen any thrash band, Yngwie Malmsteen, his idol was Ritchie Blackmore. It's so cool to know that Ritchie Blackmore, he's fluent in German. He lived in Munich for a while. He lived in Hamburg for a while, I think in the 60s. And if you guys don't know, there was a little, you know, friendship between my father and Ritchie Blackmore, because my dad was in the music industry in the 70s and 80s. So they met, and that was really cool. So that's kind of like cool to know. Not something that he just told me, like literally like, oh yeah, I know this guy, you know, and but not really like any other information. I never really asked you because I wasn't really interested at the time that he told me. But it's like, oh yeah, is that Deep Purple? Oh yeah, I know the guitar player, he's really nice, and blah blah blah, stuff like that. But yeah, this lineup here is, I think, my favorite. Ian, is it Gillan or Gillian on the vocals, Ritchie Blackmore on the guitar, John Lord organ, Roger on the bass, and Ian Pace on drums. I think that's the best. I mean, for me, my favorite one. I mean, obviously, I was lucky enough to see a lineup that goes a little bit back. This is Mark II. Let's see the one in the 70s. Let's go Perfect Strangers. 75. Let's see the lineup here on vocals. Is that Jim, Tommy Bolin? That is very early, right? But Glenn Hughes, we saw Glenn Hughes live. He opened up for Yngwie Malmsteen, and that was just amazing to witness, because that's the closest I've come to listen to Deep Purple. And Glenn Hughes, he was just like, wow. Like, that man has some pipes still, and he's like in his 70s. And he was super cool, super nice, talking about Tommy Bolin, and that he could feel the spirit, because he used to live here in Denver and Boulder. So they were huge friends, of course. So he was talking about him, and I was like, I can feel his spirit every time I'm in Denver. I love coming here. And it was just a great concert. And then afterwards, my dream came true. I had seen Yngwie Malmsteen before, but I saw him like literally up close. I could literally almost grab his feet if I wanted to. There was no security. There was just like a little like little like gate, and Alexa even jumped up on the stage, ripped off the set list, and he was like throwing pics at us, and it was really, really cool. A really cool experience. And I was singing along, you know, the songs. The thing about Yngwie Malmsteen right now, that he kind of like cuts out his songs into like little pieces, which is kind of bizarre. But I think he does it because you have to, it's right now very hard to tour and very expensive. And just, you can't really afford a vocalist and a keyboard player and a drummer and a bass player. I mean, he has everything. He has a keyboard player who sings, he sings, the bass player kind of sings, and the drummer, but he doesn't play his entire songs, which are great. He just plays like the best parts of his songs, which is kind of bizarre. This last time I saw him, but it was still fun, and I was singing along, and it was kind of cool to see your. But he was like my guitar idol when I grew up. I was studying all of his stuff, and you know, all of his little booklets and videos and stuff, and I would just like practice hours and hours and hours because I loved his style of playing. I still love it to this day. What a great marathon. Thank you so much for coming up on an hour. Thank you so much, Lee. This was amazing. I think Deep Purple are super important, and they are really like one of the most important rock bands for the, you know, what came after, which is like, you know, metal and heavy metal. And I think they know, and they wear that badge with honor, you know, and I love it. Really great band. Wonderful. Thank you so much for this. Thank you, Lee, for sending me this list of songs and the marathon. There's another one coming with a more personal set. I'm sure this is also very personal. Of course, these are all songs that Lee loves and appreciates, but the other one is a little bit lighter and different music. But again, thank you so much for being here. I hope you enjoyed this as much as I did. I hope you enjoyed Lee as well. I hope you liked the video. Please, guys, comment below, what did you think of these bands? Did you hear them when they came out? Or were you familiar with everything? Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next one.